to navigate doing. We're still live. Yay, I did it. We're still live. Yay, I did it. Okay, then I can handle it from here. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for everybody to get in. Starting second Saturday soon. I want to thank you guys for joining me and looking at my weird dress. I forgot to do the everyone on the post to everyone. Let me see if it's gonna let me. Oh, it's letting everyone. We're changing things up today due to tech difficulties. Click the link and join me. Hopefully. So let's see if I can tag everybody. It's taking a while to tag. I've been having like so many problems on social media lately, but you know what? I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna be okay with it. In terms of everything. But I'm good. I'm good. I'm not upset about that. And not at all. I want to get started. So let's go into the introductions. Today I am mourning this dress, and I know you're looking at it and you're like, "Oh my God, Sylvia, this dress is horrible." But this is probably going to be the last time I wear this dress, and I'm kind of sad about it because I like this dress. It's been through all the tough times and everything. I think I've had this dress since, like, I want to say this dress probably is about 20 years old. I had another dress just like it, but it that went away. That went away. Let me see if I can do Sandy. I can't do Wayne. I don't know why I can't do Wayne. I just gave up. Okay. Who else do I do? Vanessa. I do Vanessa. Sabrina. I did Sabrina. Was it LaShonda? LaShonda Matthews. That's how I always find her. Or is it gonna let me document? Hey, it just came up. Yes. Who else? Shar. I always do Shar Halliburton. And then I do, I forget who I do. I forget Laverne. I can always go. I should just go into my thing and get it. Joyce Laverne. That's how I find her. And then I always have a second Saturday sheet of people who have begged me to tag them. And they're always back there. It's like, hey Sylvia, can you make sure you tag me? And I'm like, oh, okay, I'll try to remember. Stephanie. And then I have two Stephanie Willis. Stephanie. And then Lila. Because they'll be like, oh, I'm gonna remember, but then they don't remember. So we're gonna see if we can. I know this is different, and people are gonna be like, oh Sylvia, why are you doing it this way? Okay, so I am gonna Lashamine Joseph, and I think that's it on my, oh, hold on, some more down here. Oh, Lysandra Moore, okay, and then I'll tag Ebony. Please, Ebony. Let's go from there. Okay, so I think that's it. Oh, Deborah. Let's forget Deborah. I think that's it. I think. Okay, those are I did my tagging. I had to put this on the list. Okay. And I did my tagging. So, hey, we are good to go. I am hoping you can hear me. Um, I see people are jumping in, so that's a good thing. I'm so happy about that. And today we're going to be talking about the 2026 author trends to watch for. I'm going to be using my two screens, so if you see me looking here or there, here's for notes, there is for Facebook. If you have any questions, I'm going to be, hello, how you doing, Audrey? If you have any questions, I'm going to be looking down here at the screen, and then there are some people who are going to be probably sending me things on Facebook as well, so I'll be answering questions. Now, I'm going to preface this by saying, well, introducing myself. I'm Sylvia Hubbard. I am author of romance and suspense of over 60 books. I'm independently self-published, and I'm also founder of Motown Writers Network. I'm having trouble with my dress today because this will be the last time I wear this dress, so I'm kind of sad because I've had this dress for like 15, 20 years, but I know it's time to throw it out, and I'm kind of sad about it. So this will be my last time wearing this dress ever, and it's been through a lot of things with me. So if I seem a little verklempt, then that's why. Okay, so we're going to be discussing 2026 author trends, and like I said, I'm going to preface this by saying I don't consider myself an expert. A lot of people will say, I'm a guru or I'm an expert at something. But usually, what I'm getting information from is more or less, from things I read, and I read a lot. I keep up with a lot of things. And I just want to, make sure like my members are in the know. If you don't know anything about Motown Writers Network, we have our website at motownwriters.com, and what we do is we help authors get to literary goals. We help writers get to their literary goals, and we connect readers to Michigan authors. uh, from the 2026 trend, the topic for today, we're basically pulling information from this awesome report that Jane Friedman puts out every year at the beginning of the year, and I'm going to make that available. I'm going to make the chart she had linked to it available, because that's the only thing that she has available now. So I'm going to make that resource available for our paid members, but I am going to put the resource in there, the link of the trends that I found, the link where you can find her site, and then you can go and buy the thing, because it's on her Substack as well. uh what else? I want to make sure I get everything. And also, because she had another article about the trends and stuff, we're going to be talking about that. So it's a lot to pick up. And then also, I found an actually a video of someone else who was discussing trends that was related to her big thing. So that's going to be a bonus at the end. If you stay all the way to the end, you'll hear all the other little bonuses, including tips and tricks. So we're going to get started right away. If you're here from Motown Writers Network, shout it out. Let me know. If you have any questions, put them in the comments as we go, especially even if it's a personal question about your brand and about your writing and your marketing. We can go from there. So let's get started. Let's get started. So the first thing she talked about is selling from your own site. This was big in a lot of the 2026 trend articles that I read. And number one, selling from your site. So they're saying that as we progress into, or selling on your own, or you're making selling possible, where it's direct to the author to author feed instead of going through Amazon. Back in the day, a lot of distribution sites would not allow authors to sell personally, and then Amazon started helping authors, but now Amazon is taking too much, and now they're saying Well, let's start doing it on our own. So different sites that you can use to sell from, it would be Beventi, and that's Beventi, Beventi.com. You can use that to sell your paperbacks, and you can sell specialty content. Plus, you can set up pre-orders on those for events you are going to be at. But selling face to face is going to be a big thing, I think, offline as well going into 2026. But that's my personal thing on that. Using thank you so much. Thank you for coming, Sandy. Gumroad, you can use for ebooks and stuff. Gumroad, PayHip is good. I've seen people use BookFunnel. I'm talking about low cost options for you, free to low cost, or where they're not taking a big chunk of the pie. Now there is things like Shopify. A lot of authors have Shopify, and that's because it's very user oriented and integrated. The integration is really well. For me, I have used Gumroad because I can integrate it on my website over at WordPress, where people can go in, and I have my WooCommerce store, and when they click the link, they can go into my Gumroad store and make the purchases from there. And that way I can center focus like all of my information over all of my book sales over on Gumroad, including autographed copies, my audio. I can actually do my membership over there if I wanted to. I can even buy a coffee kind of group. I can do all of that over there. So I have been known to use that as well. I can sell books over there. But selling books directly to customers is going to be a big thing on one of the trends. And that was actually one of the first trends that I gathered from all of the articles where I was looking into 2026 trends for authors and writers. That is when it's going to be where you can sell directly. So look into those options. Even people who have Linktree, there's going, you can actually sell from there. And I'll include like my sample thing where you can go into my Linktree and you can actually buy a book from there. So it's going to be where they're going to want you to start setting up stores on even social media sites, so you can sell directly to your customers instead of going through getting them off the platforms. So start looking into those and making sure that your distribution network is even wider than before. And I know you're saying, Sylvia, that's more work. Yes, of course, it's always going to be more work. We're always doing this. Right, to bring a big notebook. A big empty one. Okay, so the next thing, number 2, user tuned feeds. This is going to be a good and bad thing, where it's going to become, discoverability is going to become more nichey. For long-term retention, that means that you're trying to keep the reader there. That means you become a reader and you become a fan, you become a super fan. You want to keep your readers there, and being more nichey in that realm is going to help keep them. But for authors, what this means is that you're going to have to do more in terms of your metadata, and being able to, don't just talk about your books, talk about your interests around the books, talk about your interest doing the books. You can't just talk about like, okay, this book is about this. You're gonna have to talk about, well, the book I'm writing she's a DNA forensics, and I'm gonna have to start building interest in that and start pulling the interest of people who want to study forensics into that book world. And I know people who have multiple books and multiple subjects. Fiction writers kind of like have it easy, but for nonfiction writers kind of have it easy because they're very nichey. But for fiction authors, it's going to be kind of hard because you expand to so many worlds and so many people and so many interests. It's going to be really difficult, but you're going to have to master, and this is going to be a long running thing throughout this whole thing, long and short tail keywords, and be able to put a lot of it into your content in order to drive that discoverability more, unfortunately. And we're going to get into a little bit more of that, because that leads us to number 3, which is a decrease of hashtags. Now, hashtags have always been big, and I think they're never going to go away, but they are going to be decreased in use. No longer can you put 1,000 hashtags under things anymore. They're limiting that. Even Instagram has where you can only put no more than 5, and it was down from, and that's down from 30. And instead of hashtags, though, you can load your promo copy with long and short tail keywords. Another tip that they also, I saw that a lot of people also inserted, is that you can put in, when you have images, you can use the alt image and load that with keywords, long and short tail keywords, where you can stuff those a lot in there into your copy in order to, start getting people to start seeing it. It's a really good way using the alt, is it the alt text? Yeah, it's the alt text. That's what it is. That's what I was trying to think of. It's the alt text. So stuffing those with keywords to help increase your metadata and search engine optimization. I need something to drink. Oh my God, this is still warm from last night. Tea. Okay, so number 4, Pinterest gains momentum, which I've not been a Pinterest fan in a long time, and that's because I'm jealous of all the moms that are on there and doing awesome things for their children. Even though my kids are grown, I'm still upset about it. But Pinterest gains more momentum, and it goes back from using images, the alt image thing. It's an external link juggernaut, because not only can you use long and short tail keywords in Pinterest, you can also put links there as well that'll lead to those pictures, and it creates a great search engine optimization where those pictures can lead users and readers to your work. So setting up your Pinterest boards, and those are your visual boards that you can set up for your book, where you have the mood, you have colors, you have the character names and their interests and things like that. But also you can also stuff it with links on each one of those pictures that lead back to you, of course, your website, your book, where they can buy it. Some have touted success in book selling. Some have seen they've garnered more readers to go find out who they are and check them out. It's becoming, like I said, a big driver in search engine optimization for images, and it's just becoming a popular site to be able to do a lot of keyword stuffing and drive people over to where you are when they're doing the search engines, especially on Google, and we'll talk about that in a second. But it does bring up your Pinterest stuff a lot in there, even on your first page, if you've been stuffing properly. Number 5, you need to do a detailed course in this stuff. I guess, like I said, I'm not an expert. It's just like I read a lot, so I gather a lot of information. So we're on number 5. Number 5, I should have numbered these. I didn't number these, so if I get caught off, let me know. So next one is long form video. So of course, TikTok have already rolled out 10-minute videos, you know that, but there is a pilot program that's going on where you can actually do up to 60-minute videos. Now, they have allowed me to put up 15-minute videos without a fuss. I haven't gone back to look at the analytics to see if people have seen it, but I have done 10 to 15-minute videos. I mean, the 10-minute videos that I do get, I have seen where people have come in and actually have watched the videos. I get the hits. I see the hits, especially on TikTok. On YouTube, I can actually go and check that out to see like how are like my long form, because I try to stay away from, it's kind of like the people who don't like to look at their views, their reviews. I don't go back and see like how many people actually watched it because I get scared. Now, yes, I do get a moderate amount of views on even my long form content there. um and even Instagram is coming out with Instagram TV very soon. They're I don't know when they're going to be rolling it out, but I have seen that they are going to be looking at doing long form videos of series of things. Even vertical form videos, movies are becoming more and more of a hit online. So thinking about putting your story or your message in long form content is very good. You can think about campaigns you can do. I've literally went, and I actually did, and I'm gonna start this afternoon with the last of this dress because it's gonna force me to change clothes during the videos. But for the book that I'm writing now, I want to do like a set series on the way the book is, and I've set it up into 5 different videos that it's going to be pushed out throughout the month, talking about the story itself and stuff. But and it's going to be, I know they're going to be at least 10 to 15 minutes long. I'm going to try because I'm a talkative person, but this is kind of like a good thing, and we need to get into, and all around people are looking at this more of a human element, and we're going to get into that because the next thing is of course, well, before that we go into YouTube picks up speed. YouTube, a lot of people are going to be looking for long form content, and they're going to be, yes, they're going to probably hit up where they find you on TikTok for your long form content, but eventually they're going to want to start pushing, your readers are going to start going over to YouTube to look at that, to subscribe to your site there, where they want to be able to sit and watch those long form contents. So make sure if you're posting long form content on your social media platforms like your Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok, you are also posting it over on your YouTube channel, which is going to garner you even more search engine optimization. Take advantage of long and short form keywords in your promo posts so you can get that direct discoverability in there as well. It's going to be it's going to be a market, because as we're moving forward in it, I think we're going to have a more be able to make more money in terms of social media dollars and book selling dollars by producing long form authentic content. And I say authentic content because people are now, and that's number 7, because YouTube was 6. Number 7 is digital avatar decline. A lot of people are getting away from hearing the computer voice, and they want more uh human sounding voices and very real faces. It's going to be in high demand. People don't want to hear the audio monotonous voices of computers anymore. They're really going to want to push for human voices and see human faces. And even readers even now are turning away from digital avatars that a lot of the authors use, who don't want to see their face because they're, well, I'm shy. Well, you can be shy, but then you won't be seen. And so their readers are pushing towards that. Even Meta, who had invested heavily over into the metaverse, has shucked that project because people were not jumping on board. People were pushing against that and pulling away. Yeah, it's really funny how that did turn around really fast. People are looking for authenticity, point blank. They want to be able to see you and be able to connect to you, eye to eye contact. Even for me, I have a tendency to look away or go up and just stare at people's foreheads, but I even have a sign here to tell me to look here to the screen so I can connect with, who I'm talking to, because it's so hard for me. And people are like, oh, Sylvia, you're such a personable person, but I'm a writer first, so I'm an introvert first, and it's really hard for me. But we're gonna have to start getting out that shell and going forward and doing a lot of things that, even if we don't want to do it, video has long been a standing contention with authors, because we don't want to be in front of everybody, but we are going to have to. I've been saying video is going to be a very powerful medium for about 3-4 years. So we're gonna have to start really using it and pushing it if we want those book sales. And even for podcasting, they're gonna want the video podcasting a lot more, I believe. And that's my offset opinion. It's gonna be a lot of video podcasting where you're gonna have to start just sitting there and talking about your books and start talking about other things and your interest, as we go back to number 2, where, bringing your interest into to board, putting your interest for the books out there and talking about it with passion and humanity. Number 8, more polls and carousels. Now, I am going to make sure I have a list of all of these in the description of this, so make sure you bookmark this video even if you can't stay for long. I'm going to make sure, so even if you miss something, I'm not going to do the timestamps. I might do the timestamps, but I might not do the timestamps. But I'm going to try to do it. So, more polls and carousels. So, plain and simple, they are becoming more popular. For polls, how you can use them. Wayne and I have been talking about doing podcasts on Zoom. He should. Even if you just start them off small. You can't just throw stuff at Wayne, or he'll just get overwhelmed and not do it. So you have to kind of like, say, hey, let's do it once a month. Let's do it. And then go, let's do bi-weekly and then weekly. So you have to do it really small with Wayne. So for polls and carousels, you can start. For polls, tips for that is that you can begin by incorporating this into some of your meta business posts. I know mostly all authors have business posts because you have a page, so you automatically have meta business, and you can incorporate polls in there where, when you load pictures or when you load video, you can put polls underneath it. So you can start using that. A lot of authors use this, and you can use this to drive engagement, which is really important for the algorithm to see that people are participating and looking at you and staying there and engaging with the content that you are putting out. That's very important when it comes to search engine optimization, and the algorithm seeing that you have an interest in that topic and you should be deemed and cataloged as that. So for carousels, you can start by getting a set number of pictures together that readers have, that readers will engage with. So you can just, instead of one quote for a book to drive people to read the book, you can actually put an excerpt together in different carousels and then drive people to swipe and read through those posts that you have, several posts. So like, I have done like a varied amount of posts where I'll do a chapter and take different pieces of that chapter and different quotes from it. Instead of just a whole excerpt, I'll take different like powerful things that the character may say and then add a little, hey, what's going on with this? What do you think is going to happen next? And then at the end of it, and say, come and read more of this at, the link below in the post. And that'll drive people to read through those posts, see the interesting things that are going on in that chapter, in order to make people come and read more of that book. Those have been working moderately well because I'm doing a live book. If you don't know, I do a live book on my website, and that's what I'm doing right now. It's called He Touched Me, and I'm doing that right now, and it's driving people, especially international readers. I found that out. Like, I'm getting a lot of international readers to read it by doing it, and I'm focusing on like the Kindle Vella or Story Haven groups that are on Facebook, and driving those old readers who no longer can get to Kindle Vella, and I'm driving those over to my website to read more of these books. Um, More posts. So let me see, where did I stop off on? Readers, instead of one quote by them to drive website to. Okay, so yeah, drive them into your website in order to engage with your content. Engagement is king, don't forget that. Polls and carousels show people they are interested in you. They and it shows the algorithm that you are part of the expert topics in the topics of the long and short tail keywords that you have for these. So, and it gives you more opportunities to stuff more long and short tail keywords, and point the algorithm towards you a lot better. So number 9, I believe, number 9, if I'm off, let me know. So number 9, quality over quantity. Always, this has been a long-standing issue. People are trying to fast produce fast, and get things out right away, but quality over quantity is always going to win. Prioritize depth over frequency. People want to see passion, not just interest in a subject. They want to see you actually. They don't want you to just graze over something. They really want you to go in depth. I can say that by the film world, like, people are really into finding out like the behind the scenes stuff that you do. um they're interested in like the even the mediocrity things that you feel are not important. People want to see that. People really want to see the things that go beyond like what they can buy. They really want to see you, and you're like, oh, Sylvia, well, I'm a private person. Well, as an author, you become part of the public life. So if you really want to get those readers on board, you really have to create this public persona for them to want to engage with, and that includes including your behind the scenes footage, how your desk looks as you clean it up finally. That's a to-do thing for me. You want to get with okay, you want to get with the only when you have something to say. You want to get on there, and when you have something to say, you don't want to just, even though you're trying to do a public persona, you don't want to just get up and just do anything, even though you really want them to, right, they want to see you and who you are, and that's really important. um but you don't want to just get up and just start doing anything. Even though I say, you want to drive interest towards you don't want to just say, hey, this has become a political kind of thing, or hey, let's talk about this murder that happened here. I mean, hey, if you're like, Rod, who writes true crime, yes, but if you write sweet romances, just because it happened in the news, you don't need to talk about it. You can say how it affects you, but you really don't have to talk about it. But it's kind of like you really want to drive interest towards you when you really have something to say. And then when you really have something to say, you can break it into a campaign or a series of that. So if you say, hey, this is my journey to straighten my office, and first we're going to start in this corner where my bookshelves are, and this is how I keep them organized, and this is how I see my clutter is kind of messing me up, and this is going on a personal campaign again, and then I have my collections, and we'll work on that. And I can break this up, and then each time, I tell them, the good and bad things about who I am, the weaknesses I have, that I have the tendency to stuff things everywhere and then try to remember where it is, which I do. But it gets people to get inside and know who you are as a real person, which is what they are looking for. We just talked about that. But it also gives you something to say, um, when you have something to say, and not just saying anything just to keep people interested. Yes, I do have a tendency to overtalk, but then I kind of like have a check thing in my head to say, okay, you're talking too much. And I look at the time and then I say, woo, that was a good 10 minutes. I could have said 5, but just not saying nothing at all. But yeah, you want to gravitate towards, people are going to gravitate towards your desire and passion for a subject. They're going to hear it and feel it and then want to know more about you and then buy more from you. Like I said, people are buying people now, and we have to keep that in mind. So, number 10, stronger regulations on social media use. This is going to be a good and a bad thing. And even though we've talked about several social media platforms, and governments are dipping their toes into regulating what people, what, especially age appropriate material for people. So you're going to have to, as even as a children's author, which is going to probably affect more initially, make sure that you have your own platform, guarded platform, where kids can come and find out more about your work and buy your books, even for teens and tweens. And if everybody under 18, if you write books for them, you're going to have to actually set up platforms so that it's safe to come. Or even when you set up your social media, you're going to make sure that it's serving that platform only and not anything else. A lot of times, even if I'm not doing subjects that have nothing to do with kids, or videos that have nothing to do with kids or anything like that, or I mean, it's for all audiences, I usually just still restrict kids because I know they could gravitate towards other videos or book trailers that have that could impact them. So I kind of just say, hey, my whole platform is 18 or over. Basically, even when I'm doing my live storytelling, I say, hey, if you're not 18 or over, you know, go away, get away from here. You don't need to be here. So stronger regulations. You should be driving people off the platform onto your site where real content and products are, and don't put your eggs in one basket. That's another thing about the stronger regulations on social media use. Don't put your eggs in one basket. Don't just bank on TikTok. Don't just bank, and we'll get into why you shouldn't, but don't just bank on TikTok. Don't just bank on Facebook or Instagram. You want to make sure you have a plethora of ways where people can reach out to you, um, including your website, 2 social medias and your website. And that's a good way to use Linktree as well. So then people can connect with you on different platforms and be able to follow you for that. So search on social expands. Now, back in the day, we talked about a lot of things where it was Google, just find me on Google, be the top search engine on Google because people were using it. Well, now people are using a lot of other entities in order to search for things. So there's Bing, there's Foxfire, and but also people are using the social media search engines as well. So this is where those long-term, short-term keywords come in at, that you can use, especially in your videos, especially in your pictures. You can use these to garner the right people to come find you, especially when people are really looking into nichey things. This helps you because you've used long and short tail keywords in order to get them to you. So start making sure that you are incorporating long-term search term keywords come in handy, because then you want to start using them sooner than later. Don't say, well, Sylvia, I'm going to set up a plan. Start using them now. If you're uploading any videos or footage from now on, make sure you are stuffing them with long-term, short-term keywords, so then you can make sure you are driving the traffic towards you and your book. Um, number 11. I think I'm on number 11 or number 12. Influencer economy. It's going to be an up and down. So it is crashing. Some on TikTok are even saying they aren't getting paid as much as they were um, after the takeover, and some are saying they're not even getting paid at all since the takeover. Um, so be careful. Unless you've already set up traction and have brand deals or doing affiliate programs, you might be part of the low traction and no money making crowd. But there's still growth, especially for nonfiction authors here because of their expertise, and they can garner pushing out their expertise more and aligning more products with those expertise. For fiction authors, you should really push towards influencers, niche influencers that align with your book. Say that you wrote a medical drama, then you want to look for medical professionals to read the book. You want to, if you wrote about someone who had um say that, I'm sorry, I had someone who's a computer nerd. You want to go into those computer nerds, or a Dungeon and Dragon, or even, hey, look for a Stranger Thing influencer. You really want to, like, you do fantasy or anything, you can go find those people who love fantasy out there, that fantasy influencers who talk about all the shows and stuff like that. You can ask them, hey, would you like to read an art copy of my book? Go like that. But going in and finding the niche influencers are going to help you, especially as a fiction author. And like I said, nonfiction authors kind of have it already because of their expertise, and they can really get into driving sales towards their and search engine optimization, which is, I'm kind of jealous, but that's okay. I'm working it out. Now, if you guys have any questions, you guys can always drop them in the comments, and even afterwards, and you're listening to this on the replay, you can always drop them in, and I'll come back and answer anything that I have. Like I said, I did read a lot of articles regarding this subject. A lot of people have put out videos and articles about the 2026 trends for writers and authors, and there are some that are notable mention. Those are the main ones. I think that was 12. I think I got 12 of them in there, and these are, if you're still here, these are the extra ones. Now, there's AI writing explosion. Now, I know I said that people want real content, real people, and everything. But there is going to be an AI writing explosion. There's no way to stop it, no way to prevent it. No government can possibly come in and try to stop what is coming. There is going to be a lot of AI generated books that are coming out. Now, the worry is how do you stand out as a human writer? How do I make sure that my book can do something more different than what this huge AI machine can do? So market yourself, like I said, as all natural. Let people know, get in front of the camera, show them when you're doing your writing days, when you're doing the writing days behind the scenes. You can just show them you typing up books. A lot of people love that, love hearing the typing on the pages and everything. A lot of people will sit there and listen to you type, and then even comment about it, or going into your writing sprints. I've been doing writing sprints, and people have been coming into the write-ins just to hear me type, and it's weird for me, but hey, if you like it, I love it. But yeah, it's do more natural content. I've been using chat a lot when it comes to describing me and personal things. Yeah, it is hard because we are we are introverts. So it is hard to write about yourself. It is hard to talk about yourself. When people ask me, oh, they'll ask me questions, and I'm like, I don't know who that person is. Okay, so another thing for the AI writing explosion, to write more humanly. And when I say that, I'm saying use more instinct when you're, especially as fiction writers, use more instinct when writing your storylines. Do unpredictable. That's the wonderful thing about being humans, is that we can change your minds, and it may not be what you really wanted to happen in the story, but sometimes that can bring out a new outcome and a new unpredictability about the story. Draw from unique situations in your life. If you're from Detroit, there's a lot of unique situations, I'm gonna tell you that. But draw from unique situations in your life where you can add to the story and add a different thing. So sometimes I've often like say, hey, on her way home, she stopped at a Coney Island. So if you're in Detroit, and the majority of all my books are based in Detroit, Coney Island, with the real cheese. Not the nacho cheese and the Coney Island, the chili dogs and stuff like that. That's something Detroit. That's something unique where AI wouldn't get something like that. But somebody who's reading this and from Detroit, they can be like, oh yeah, oh yeah. And you can always do like, I can do a east side, west side kind of thing, because that is a real big thing in Detroit. It tells the person who you are. If you say, hey, I'm from the east side, a west side girl is gonna be like, nope, no, I don't deal with you. So you have to put more unique situations in your book. A deft turn or phrase, using poetic phrases a lot in your book, or even using ebonics in the character when they talk, because a lot of times when I am writing and then I let AI do the editing sometimes, I can see, and they'll stop and say, well, it would be better if you write this phrase like this, but I know my character does not talk like that. I had one character, she would always be, let's be doing this, or we can be doing this, or something like that, and it always tell me to take out the B, and I'm like, that's not how she talks though. So I dismissed that correction, because that's not how my characters talk, because I like to differentiate. If you're hearing characters talk on a page, I want to hear the different in sounds. They shouldn't all sound the same. I should be able to know who's talking. So even when the AI reads this, my readers know who's talking. That's very important to me. Very important to me. And it should be very important to you as a writer, because you want to be able to have different sounding characters no matter who is reading the book. You want to write deeply human characters with, and do actions and reactions of how these characters run their lives, or work their feelings, or react to situations. You really want to get into that, into your books. Explore more emotions, contradictions of emotions, counterintuitive emotions, lean into deep understanding, because those are things that the AI cannot understand or comprehend and be able to execute it as well. Use your human abilities in order to write better, basically. Down, and I just came up with that. So use your human abilities to write. Focus on categories where humans have the advantage: humor, sarcasm, subtle clues, and subtext. So subtlety is more or less clues into the context, and then the subtext is more of what you're not saying. I have that a lot. I go back and forth with AI a lot when I'm doing the editing, and they want to really drive into the emotion. And I'm like, I already said how she was feeling at the beginning of this. I know she's feeling conflicted. I don't have to keep going in about her conflict, and it'll keep going in. And I know my writing is so tuned in that I know I don't need to. And I trust my instincts, and that's one of the things that you should do. Sandy, you said the worst book I've ever read had a British count speaking in America. It was that's terrible. Okay, another thing about the about what's coming up, like another bonus tip, is growth of deluxe editions and collectibles. Growth of a deluxe editions and collectibles. So having the sprayed edges, images, designs, and extra illustrations inside of your book. The you can charge 5 to 10 times more dollars for those. So say that you don't have the money to really do paperback. You're like, okay, that's a lot of money just to throw a 6x9 together. I forget how insane I am. I'm sorry. You don't have the money to throw a 6x9 together, but you would like to make money off of the paperback. So you can do an artistic version of the book, and then have it available on Amazon. I'm sorry. I took my watch off like several times today to clean it because I don't like wearing a dirty watch, but I want to wear my watch. So that's a that's a Sylvia thing, sorry. But you want to do the paperback, and you can do a collectible paperback instead. So then yes, you can make 5 to 10 times more, but yes, you have to do the design. I think bookvault.com does different collectible uh books, and you can get someone to design a book designer design the book and then be able to upload it on Amazon. They do the hard covers and the paperbacks. But a lot of times I've even seen authors that you can go on YouTube itself and then how to do sprayed edges on your own, because I've seen authors do it and it's like, oh, I think I can do it and I think I might try it. I'm just terrified of tearing up a book, but if I do, then I can sell it for a little bit more. And you can buy a messed up book. Another thing, the next bonus item is Book Talk as the primary marketing channel. Now, I didn't say the only marketing channel, but you should be using TikTok, aka Book Talk, as one of your main marketing channels. Is their own edges, and they are very nice. I know, and Kenya Moss Dimes does hers too, and they are so cool. I mean, she had one that had red sprayed edges, and it was so cool. And I was like, I know I want to do it. I'm just terrified. I'm really terrified to tear the book up, but okay. So Book Talk as a primary marketing channel, 1 in every 12 books are sold on Book Talk, and that's 7% of the book market, which is it sounds small, but it's a really it's a big deal. So yes, you should have as one of your social medias. Remember I said 2 social medias and your website, as one of your uh beautiful elderly woman. I don't understand that one, but okay. You should have Book Talk as one of your TikTok, as one of your primary social medias. um Not your only one, like I said, but it should be one of your primaries. And even if you're just producing content for like the long form, short form videos and uploading them there, um get on that. Make sure you are getting on that. Find ways to schedule your stuff out. Find ways to make time to get that stuff loaded up, and just really work on building a community wherever you are, and driving them towards, of course, your website, or where you have your books, or where you're selling your content for real. um, the last bonus thing that I garnered from all the articles is audio book takeover. A lot of people are, well, I said it last year, and I do agree with everyone else, is that a lot, you're going to need audiobooks. You're going to have to put that in your I got to do it this year. Try to do 1, 2, even if you do it on YouTube and do chapter by chapter where people can just come in and listen to the entire playlist. Even if you do it that way, you can do it. You can also go into Google and use their AI to read your book and then upload it there. Just try to put it in your thing, that this is one of the things I am going to do. How I have done it is that my husband is helping me produce books on AI, the older books as AI. I'm trying to find real voices for newer books that are coming out, but since I have a huge catalog, it's going to be thousands and thousands of dollars. Now they're saying How do you get compensated on a chapter by chapter? So enough listens to anything on YouTube, or enough watches on YouTube on anything, you're going to start getting into getting money back from it easily. So if you're getting thousands and thousands of views on something, YouTube is going to pay you for those views. Even Facebook is going to pay you for those views. So you can start by doing that. You can use AI on Google. Like I said, you can use AI on Google Play. You can do it yourself, or you can hire a professional. If you're hiring a professional, you're gonna look into spending about $1,000 to $5,000 on producing that book. Like I said, that's pretty much why my husband and I are going towards, yes, for our back catalog. My back catalog, I'm using AI, and then what on my website, I'm going back into selling books face to face, or selling books on my own. When readers buy the ebook or paperback from me, they can get the AI version of the book as well. Especially while they're waiting for the 7 to 10 business days on the paperback to get to them, they can actually start listening to the book immediately. So I make that available for me. I know, nice. um what I'm going to say is that I think that being offline, like I said in the beginning, for my 2026 trend thing, is that I think being offline is going to be a big deal. People connecting with you face to face, human interaction is going to become a big deal. People are going to be very centered focused on being out in the world a lot more and making those human connections. I think that's going to be a big deal for people, and that authors are going to have to get into doing vendored events, or niche type vendored events, where they can put out, like, I was going to be a part of, I had to cancel, but I was going to be part of the speed dating thing, because I wanted to get more into couples and women who are looking for romance and everything. So I've been looking for more niche type romantic events. Of course, going into February, it's a whole bunch of them, but my calendar's already full with the libraries. But I am going to start looking for a lot more niche face-to-face events, and I'm going to be posting a lot of those niche events into our thing. Thank you for subscribing, Sandra. That's so cool. But yes, I've got to meet the author events booked as soon as I have copies in hand. I'm pretty excited. Well, that's great. That's great. And because we should start doing that more. I think we've gotten away from it. We've also gotten away from driving people towards our website and producing newsletters. I think that's going to be very important, especially with the lots of bans on social media use, and a lot of people who just don't want to be doom scrolling. They want to get away from doom scrolling. I also think like e-zines are going to be becoming a lot. Oh my God, I need to get a battery. We're about to go out. Hold up. We need power. I'm at 5%. There's going to be e-zines. That's what I was saying. So I think e-zines are going to be really popular. Making handcrafted books. When you're doing these vendor events, it's not just about the books. I think you guys are gonna be needing like a lot of treats, and not just candy and stuff, because people are getting away from sweets. So you want to have different types of things at your event, or be able to send out reader treats when you're doing those direct sales. You want to be able to also send out reader treats, or even just having reader treats available for readers. I think that's going to be a lot of encouraging things. There's one thing I found, and you can get them on Amazon Haul, and I'm about to pull down this whole thing trying to show you this. There's one thing I found that you guys could do. Well, you guys, if you want to. So a lot of people who do have Kindles, I found that they can get these Kindle charms, and you can put them inside of, I don't have a, oh, I can do it on here. So this is like a recorder, but it has the same C drive. Let me see if I can show you how it works. But you can have like different treats or different things handcrafted. I saw Ashley. She had these handcrafted bookmarks, book things, book charms. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I. Oh, no, I'm doubting that. Don't doubt yourself, Sylvia. Don't doubt yourself. You see me encouraging? Okay, it does work. Okay. So it goes into a C port, and it's a charm. It's like a little book charm. And it has like a little, this one says bookish girl. I don't know if you can see it. It says bookish girl. But these has little charms, and I can actually insert those into different packages or give them out at my table or send them through the mail. But I'm trying to find little tiny gifts to give out that are really cool for readers. We can have that. Doing more of those for readers to just kind of say thank you for supporting me and my work. I think that's going to become a little bit more popular as we go along. Not big book boxes, because the economy is going down. We're doing a K shape at right now, but and not to break the bank for you, but like I think I got what is this, about 10 of them, and I got them for $1. So and I can send them out to, hey, the next 10 fans that comment below, blah blah blah, and go from there. And I can get, number one, the engagement, number one, human interactions, and of course getting some fans that can become super fans. So that is my take, and I want to make sure I don't go over my hour, which I'm about to in about 30 seconds. So, but I want to thank you guys for joining me. And like I said, if you guys have any comments, if you're listening on the replay, please go ahead and leave it down below, and I will come back and comment on it. I want to thank you guys for joining us. And yes, I know this is a new way of doing things, and I appreciate you guys for coming in and seeing what I have to say. That's always appreciated. You guys have a great day. Thank you, Denise. I just got the hockey girl thing. Thank you. I gotta put you on my thing. Happy January back to you guys, and you guys have a happy new year. Most likely in February we're gonna have LaShonda come back and talk about romance, of course, in some kind of way, and promoting your romance books. So yeah, so set up and make sure you keep it up. If we have to do it through this way, then we will, but hopefully we'll be back in the group again and go from there. So you guys have a great day. Bye.